you haven't spoken about PSG.
Yeah, let's do it.
We anticipated a tough game. I
Mm.
tweeted on the morning of the game that there seems to be a sort of arrogance and a foregone conclusion amongst the online fan base in terms of this should be a walk in the park. I didn't see it as that, and I said this is going to
What
be,
for us?
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of confidence, not arrogance, a lot of confidence. Um, but I knew this is going to be our toughest game of the season, bar none, bar
Gee.
none, and so it turned out to be. Um,
Yeah, we've never won there. Like that's the first time we've won there, man. Like it's
our record in France is not very good at all.
yeah, exactly. I just can't agree with people that were just so overconfident. This is what happens. The problem with sometimes Liverpool fans as well. Just because you're doing well and you're going, just the craziness just comes out. Yeah, we're just going to beat everyone, and we won't beat everyone. It's not that type of team that's just going to roll over other teams. We got hammered. Let's be honest, we got hammered on Wednesday night. That was a pasting. But the beautiful thing is that the pasting was really the first half. And I said this on the post match with Jack when I was watching. We pulled up the shot maps and the shot profiles of PSG, and you could see second half the shot profile was awful from them. They were shooting from stupid angles from distance. We'd frustrated the crap out of them. So the second half performance onwards, it was controlled. Just like let them come. They're not going to get past. We're not going to let them create. And we messed up so many breaks in the second half. We had so many like opportunities to create a chance, but the last pass was just rubbish from us. And in the end, we got one right. So whilst it was a pasting, we were much better second half, but people just don't. It's because the stress of the first half just,
Yeah, you're spot on because I watched
you
it
know.
again. I watched it again, right? And I think you're spot on. I think the first 30 minutes was as horrible as 30 minutes I can
Hmm.
recall in a Liverpool shirt. And I was a debate in a WhatsApp group that I was in and speaking about. I think that was the worst half. I think it was worse than Napoli because if we remember the time we got battered in Napoli, we had chances of our own, Gags. We had plenty of chances of our own as well. The
I'm not
difference
sure.
here
I
was
can't
we had.
remember it. I
Oh,
thought
we
we
did.
got we were. Did we lose 4-1 to them
Yeah, we
once?
lost 4-1, but we had plenty of chances of our own. This time
Hmm.
around, we had zero, and I mean zero chances. In fact, you could say we had zero chances apart from the goal. There was no other shot on target. There was no other
Yeah, it was
chance.
a flick on. It was more of a flick on that they counted, which was weird.
So for me, this was the worst performance, worse than that as well. Defensively, we were shambolic that day, but going forward, we created chances. I remember we hit the post, and the keeper made a couple of tremendous saves. So I know we lost 4-1, but we could have ended up losing 4-3 or 5-4, something like that. But this one
Yeah.
was horrific. Now, obviously, you've spoken about Alisson all week, but you can't talk enough about Alisson. Um, where does he rank for you in sort of all-time Premier League keepers? Because I know you're very unbiased when it comes to this kind of thing.
I think we had a similar convo to this. We talked about Cech and
Oh,
Schmeichel.
we did, didn't we?
We did, yeah. But we were like, he's in there. I said that it's an argument, like because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say it's Alisson, but then a Man United fan will say it's Schmeichel, and then a Chelsea fan would say it's Cech. So
And
um,
no one would be wrong. No one would be
no,
wrong.
we can't be wrong. Like literally for us, he has to be the greatest. Like we have to say Alisson's the greatest. I think that performance though, that day on Wednesday, probably did sway a lot of human beings because they're fickle.
It was sensational.
Even the opposition fans, very fickle, and they'll be like, never seen anything like it. But
But
then you
Gags,
go back to
we have
look at
never seen
Courtois,
anything like that.
Courtois, Champions League final, Courtois. Come
Sure,
on, man.
sure, 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 sure,
Come
sure,
on. We've
sure,
witnessed it live in a
sure,
stadium, watching
sure.
it in front of our eyes, going, how has this Liverpool team not scored? We played that team off the park, that Real Madrid team, and we lost 1-0 somehow on
So
the break.
I want to bring up a little mini conversation I had with Doug Critchley of Sky Sports, and big up Doug, very good friend of mine,
Mm.
who's a presenter on Sky Sports, and he tweeted something along the lines of, and I may paraphrase because I can't bring up my Twitter now. I should share my screen. I'm sorry. I'm very lazy like that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
he tweeted something along the lines of um, Liverpool tremendous result, horrific performance. A lot of opposition coaches will have looked at that and seen how fallible or vulnerable, I think the words were, Liverpool are. Um,
Mm.
and I tweeted back, and I tweeted him back, quoted him back, and I said, Dougie, I just want to remind you that sort of after having the group that we had and topping it, sorry, after the victories that we had and topping our group, we're allowed an off night. I'd say opposition managers won't take that game in isolation, but the whole season in general, in terms of how good we've been, because it's very difficult to gauge an opinion on a team weaknesses and strengths based on one game. You have to have a sample size, and the sample size of the season suggests that we're very very good this season. And then I also reminded him, just to bring it back to what you was talking about, I said, Dougie, I sat in Paris and watched my team dominate the greatest club side probably ever, right, in Real Madrid, and Courtois made 9 saves we after having man of the match performance. So I said, and but did opposition fans or rival fans speak about how vulnerable Madrid are looking? No, they said what a tremendous Champions League victory. That's all they spoke about. We
Exactly.
never
No one
heard
gives
about
a
it.
shit. No one gives a crap afterwards. It's just because, just like what happened on the commentary team for that game, people want to try and pick holes in this Liverpool
Mm,
side.
mm.
They do. There's this desperation where everyone wants them to lose. They're all very, very afraid that this question here is possible. At what point do you think a PLCO double is possible? I think if we get to the semis, that's when we can start talking about it, Suj, if I'm honest. But Grizz, you can answer that as well from Suj. But that's what I think people are fearing, is that we dominate and do a PL and CL double, because I think life would be very unbearable for a lot of other fan bases if that happens. So they're shitting themselves, if I'm honest.
I'd be unbearable, to be honest with you, and I think we deserve it. I think
Mm,
after all the heartache of the last Pep era and Klopp era, and the
mm.
heartache and last minute losses, or last day losses, I should say, and Champions League finals, we deserve to be unbearable.
Yeah,
I would honestly, I would shout it from the rooftops, because I think people will realize what an achievement this is by our manager. Because Gags, can I remind you, not remind you, you already know, but can I remind everyone and remind myself? It was not only Arnie's slot that came in. The amount of people that walked in behind the scenes at Liverpool Football Club was insane. The turnover in staff was insane. And to get everything organized behind the scenes and then on the pitch, I don't think we're getting enough praise for it. Because look at the state of other clubs. And we know from FSG and Michael Edwards' first first hurrah with us, how important structure, getting the structure right, is, right? And we've done
mm.
it just like that, Gags Tandon, just like that.
I think I think they deserve all the credit in the world. I think you think about it and you go, all of that turnover around the scenes, you just got to pray. You're just thankful, sorry, that there wasn't much turnover in the first team,
Yeah.
because that's what saved us. Because the
But
first
this
team
is
took the
why they
world.
wasn't. They again, they were 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, because they thought there's too much change behind the scenes. If we sell too many players, I mean, we had players leave. Remember, there's quite a lot that left on freeze, or we didn't renew. Tiago's and Matip's, and these are all big personalities around the back of the like. You
Absolutely.
go, they're huge.
Milner,
Like Milner, no, Milner went the year before, or was it this year?
I can't
I think
remember.
so. Anyway, I thought Milner was there last year at Brighton. I'm sure it was, but
You're right. You're right.
yeah, it was Thiago and Matip
You're right.
and a few others
You're right.
this year. But
Yeah.
I just think, was it Ox this year as well? Or was that
No,
last year
last
too?
year.
That
Last
was
year.
last year. So it was these two this year. But still, big personalities behind the scenes, man. Like Matip, a lot of people loved him. And also, Thiago was such a good, role model for a lot of the Spanish or Portuguese speaking players. So losing them was still big. At the end of the day, though, just still, you're right. the sheer amount of people that just left these people's lives, these players' lives. You know, like everyone.
Goalkeeping
Thankfully,
coaches, tactical analysts,
oh
data
my god.
analysts, behind the scenes, physios,
What,
doctors,
what
all
about the
kinds of
food
stuff.
nutritionists? All of
People
them
don't
went.
realize. See,
Everyone.
the thing is, right? The modern day fan only just transfers, signings, first team. Literally, they only think about 13 players, 14 players. Even if you've got a squad of 18, 19, people don't want to know about the 17th, 18th, and 19 players. They just want to know the first team and a few others, and that's all they're interested in. But to be a successful team, to be the pinnacle, to reach the pinnacle, sorry, you have to have so much more. And we've restructured. And I'm probably going to do a show on my channel soon about that, and sort of speaking on that in particular. But I just don't think we're getting enough praise for it. And I think it will come out slowly, slowly, the amount of work that's behind the scenes. Now, I know it's all going to come back to the director of football, Michael O'Donnell's, and contracts. I get it. Guys, I get it. And I'm frustrated or bemused or whatever terminology or word you want to use. But we have to sometimes give them credit for the other stuff. And hiring Slot was no fluke. Refusing to give the job to Amrim was no fluke. And look at the state and the situation the two managers find themselves in now. It's amazing, isn't it?
I think we wouldn't have been able to turn over the staff. Sorry, the players with Amorim's. Amorim coming in. So it would have been really difficult. Grizz, just tell him what your channel is, bud. Tell Jill what your channel is.
Football Carnage. So Carnage spelled with my surname, Khanage. You get it? You like it?
Yeah,
Clever?
very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, I think you're right. The turnover of staff, like if he had come in, I think I read it somewhere where I think it was Joycey or someone else put it out there, but Liverpool thought it would cost 400 million to
Yeah.
turn the squad around for Amorim, and that was the kind of thing. Like he's a good enough manager. Let's not judge someone just because they're struggling right now. Man United, if he gets his players there, which by the way, that's a huge if as well, because
Massive.
they are struggling. They are struggling off the pitch as well. The Glazers are still going to take money out every single year. There's no doubt they're going to get absolutely ripped financially every year. So personally, I think he needed to be at a club that was going to spend money and change it around, because he can only play one way. That's the problem. You've seen with Arne Slot already. The guy changes the way he does stuff inside games alone. Like this things going on. You're going, what? Haven't seen that before. Haven't seen that for a long time. What about the Man City and Villa games? He set up for City by testing it at Villa, by playing no striker.
Yeah.
He tested it out. He wanted to see, with my four midfielders, can I do it, or with a striker but without, you know what I mean, not a front three, and play his four cherished midfielders in both games. He did it, and it worked. It got us 4 points out of 6.
So we're going to finish off with the PSG game very quickly because we've got a game to look forward to. And I wanted you to bring up. It's gone
We
now.
got
AG's. Okay, we talk about this one first. Yeah, Morton says PSG ran the game, but the plan was to defend, but they were pushed further back than expected. But don't you think Arne saw that we didn't concede goals and therefore didn't change much? I love it. I don't know. I don't know if the plan was to sit, and I think he alluded to it today in the press conference where he said, "No, we were far too deep, and we were very." Someone said, "A lot of people are saying you're lucky." He said, "Lucky," and then everyone thought, "Where's he going with this one?" And he said, "We were very, very, very lucky." He said it 3 times. So I love his honesty. I absolutely love his honesty. Honestly.